All right, and is this the last section then?
Yeah, I want to cover a topic. It's called Zone 14. It's something that BT Sports, Sky Sports, podcasts, YouTube channels, no one's covered because no one would know to cover it, to be fair to them. If we can bring up the image of the football field. Now, anyone that knows about performance analysis in football, the pitch is split into zones.
Okay.
Zone 14 is especially key in performance analysis. You could also say so is Zone 5, but Zone 5 and Zone 14 are the same. The difference is, imagine we're attacking. Zone 5 would be defending outside the penalty box. Zone 14 would be attacking outside the penalty box. The reason Zone 14 is so important in football, and again, you need to know about performance analysis to know this. I actually haven't studied performance analysis, but on one of the coaching courses I went on, I met a guy called Chris McGinn. He played under Brian Clough.
Right.
And he's actually into performance analysis, and he taught me a lot about it.
Interesting.
And Zone 14, guys, is the most, I would say, the most important zone on a football pitch. The reason it's the most important zone on a football pitch is because the majority of goals scored, the ball will at some stage travel through Zone 14 on course to goal. Not every goal, but most goals. So if we know that, then there's two things we can then look at in terms of analysis, or even when you're coaching or managing a team. One, we've got to make sure we're good in Zone 14, because that's where most goals come from, or the ball has to go through that zone for it to go to a goal, to end up in the back of the net. And if we're defending, we better protect Zone 14. We better defend that area well, because if a team can get through that zone, statistically, they've got a really good chance of scoring. Okay, so that's why Zone 14 in performance analysis is quite an important zone. If we show the next slide, this is what Zone 14 looks like in a normal game. So I think this is Napoli versus team in Italy. That is Zone 14 in a real live match. Okay. Now, why am I talking about Zone 14? Well,
we don't have a Zone 14.
We have one. We just don't know what we're doing with it. So we've talked about how the defence 2v1s, disorganised, position, players out of shape. There's a couple of chances that were created that could have easily been goals, but were either saved or went wide. And it's all because Spurs failed to protect Zone 14. Right now, the ball's. If we go to the next slide, I wish I could show you in actual real-time footage because it will show it much better, but I've got to do it in stills because of copyright. The ball has been crossed in by a Wolves player from the left-hand side into the box. I've circled the ball and the player who are now trying to header the ball out. So, Sim, if you're defending, you're the circle player who is Matt.
No. Is that Doherty or is that Kulu maybe?
No, it wasn't.
Bentancur?
No, it wasn't. It was Doherty. Cheers, Sam. Where would you header that ball?
I'll try my best to get it to Lucas.
Out wide?
Yeah.
Okay. Look where Doherty heads the ball. If we go to the next slide. Straight into Zone 14.
And that's where Jimenez has a shot on the edge of the box.
The most dangerous area on the pitch, statistically. I'm not a big fan of stats, but most goals do travel through that zone. And it actually fell to
Jimenez, I think. He had a snapshot, I think, on the edge of the box. Hugo had to save it.
Okay. And to the next clip. The ball comes in. You can see the player striking the ball, and you can see the ball travelling towards the box. If we go to the next slide, Harry Kane now wins the header. Right. Where would you header the ball if you're Harry Kane?
Again, out wide, or trying to find Son where he is, if you try and get him out wide.
Okay, look where Harry Kane heads it. Zone 14. Straight to the feet of the oncoming striker. And this was actually a good save by Lloris. Do you want one more?
I would love one more.
Can you see where I'm going with this?
I can see where you're going with this.
Davinson Sanchez, where's he got the ball? What zone is that?
Oh, I remember this clip. I saw this.
What
I
zone
remember
is it?
At Zone 14 he has.
And you know what happens next?
He lets the ball run across him.
He dribbles it out straight into a Wolves player. Again, that's 3 scenarios in a game where Spurs have had very straightforward chances to get the ball away, and we've gone and given away possession in Zone 14, the most dangerous part of the pitch. So anyone watching this show, next time you go and watch Spurs or any match, just keep an eye on zone 14 and see where errors happen, and then what happens after the errors occurred in zone 14. And in most cases, you will see goals scored. Spurs do not protect zone 14 well at all. On the flip side, okay,
Attacking zone 14.
right, this was the Son goal. Well, Harry Kane scored, but someone on a dribble.
Yeah.
Look where he's made the run through zone 14.
Right through the centre.
It led
yeah.
to a goal. All right. If we go to the next slide. Sorry that I'm going through these quick.
It's all right.
This was the shot by Harry Winks against Wolves that deflected and hit the post. Zone 14. And I believe there's one more. The Kulusevski strike.
That's right. The one we just wide.
Sim, what zone is he in?
Zone 14, I believe.
So I just thought I'd bring it up because I know nobody touches on these kinds of things. And it's something that I spotted and I thought, you know what? We should really talk about Zone 14 and explain the relevance. So I've shown people watching the show today how Zone 14, if you don't defend it, will lead to other teams getting shots away and potentially a goal. And likewise, when Spurs exploit Zone 14, we not only score goals, but we test the goalie, we hit the post. So Zone 14 is a crucial area. And if you're not good at attacking Zone 14, or if you're not good at defending Zone 14, you're in trouble.
Do you think, though, the formation we play, with the 3-4-3, do you think that's an area, though, that sometimes we're a bit lacking in? Like, just in
possession or out of possession?
In possession, mostly, I would say.
If one of the front three drops into that pocket, no.
But do they?
Kane does, but he tends to drop wide. Like this. Would you agree that Lucas Moura's best position is down the middle?
Yeah.
It's zone 14 that he's attacking. It's zone 14 that he's causing the problems. If you look at the goal he scored earlier in the season, I can't remember who played, but it was a wonderful passing move, and then Moura smashed it top bins. It was at home before Christmas. Do you remember that long-range shot he scored?
Who, sorry?
Lucas Moura.
Yeah, against Norwich.
Right, that shot was in zone 14.
Yeah.
So I actually think quite a few Spurs goals do come through that zone. And statistically, it's supposed to. I would say more the issue we've got is we don't defend that zone well. There's no excuse for Harry Kane or Doherty to be heading a ball straight back into the most dangerous zone on the pitch.
Definitely not. Especially when they had opportunities to head out wide. And that was definitely a big problem. And maybe if we do get Kulu more involved in central areas, we can occupy that space a lot more potentially. And I think he did was in a few situations in that zone a few times, and he nearly picked the lock, but just wasn't able to. I think Wolves did defend brilliantly, I have to say. But I think maybe Kulu could be someone who could occupy that zone a bit more regularly than some of the other players.
Yeah, look, again, Sim, you know, I've explained. We did a kind of stats show where I explained why I'm not a big fan of stats, but the majority of goals do go through that zone.
I know, as John Murray said, Kane's first goal against Brighton as well.
Yeah, the curler.
Yeah,
the curler. Yeah, you're right. We won the ball out wide. It went to zone 14. He's got it spot on. Yeah. So just something I thought it'd be good for people watching the Tactics show to just something new, something different to learn, and just keep an eye on it when you watch football.